Leader in Me program and who can benefit from it?
The Leader in Me program is a program for school to develop leadership skills in kids. So it's a holistic approach that is built on the world-known program, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is one of the most influential leadership programs in the world and has been for the past 30 years. And this is now been transformed into a process for schools to provide students with those skills as early as down to kindergarten. And it also gives the teachers a pedagogical model kind of to be able to teach the 21st century skills that everyone is looking for ways to teach in schools. The ones that can benefit from it, I would like to say just everyone, because it's about personal development. The teachers definitely benefit from this. It helps them in their teaching, even in their personal lives. It gives them tools to become more effective, to find more value in their works, and even find their voice. The students definitely value from it, because every single child has a potential, has talents. And through the years, the school system has mainly been focusing on a kind of couple of areas of talents. And this is actually a tool that can help you develop the whole child. Because the ultimate role of the school is to prepare you for the life to come, not necessarily to be the best mathematics, even though mathematics and languages and all of those skills are important. Apart from that, the families also benefit from it, and that's kind of been our experience for the past 15 years, is that the families look at this and say, how can we embed those principles into our family life as well? Because I think families today are dealing with, how do you say it, a pressure from the world. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of things that are pulling you in all directions and sometimes pulling you away from what's really important. So there's many who can benefit from this. If you look at the national curriculums worldwide, they are increasing their focus on social emotional skills development in schools. So they are increasing the value, kind of how they evaluate schools, and embedding that in the PISA study, for example, is now emphasizing more on these type of skills. So the method that we do to take it in is to use, of course, part of these life skills lessons that are a part of most schools somehow, to teach the 7 habits through that, and kind of build it into the current program or system that they have. If they have any other methods who are working, it can well go hand in hand with the 7 habits. But other than that, we have kind of this integrated approach, because leadership skills is not something that you use just only on Monday between 12 and 2 o'clock. The leadership skills and how to lead yourself is actually what you're using every single moment of your day, both in your work life and in school and at home and in social life. So that's why we have an integrated approach that helps teachers to embed the teaching of the 7 habits into mathematics lessons, about setting kind of clear goals and how to collaborate with others, how to become the best you can be in what you are, building up self-confidence, and you can do that through any subject in what you're doing. So the method is holistic and what we call ubiquitous approach. It's everywhere all the time. Just as your leadership skills, you use them every day all the time. Teachers from all around the world, from Middle East to Asia to Africa to Europe to America. I've seen all kinds of transformation. My kind of biggest is I really see that they better see what they're capable of doing. That's what I see in teachers. I come back and they're actually teaching me of how it could be brought to life. But in general, we see as a common red thread for the teachers is that we see collaboration increases and becomes better because they value the differences and they start becoming just stronger individuals. We see bullying going down by kids when they learn this, because not a single child wants to be a bully. It's just about lack of character or understanding of what they're doing that causes that. So we're seeing that. We're seeing academic performance increases along the way when everyone realizes that they can be in charge of their study, and when they are supported to do so. We see in general the physical culture and the emotional cultures of schools changes. You come into the school and you know what the school is about. You sense that everyone is important, that everyone is valuing one another. You can see that, both among teachers and students. I even see that change just in a couple of months in the beginning. But in a long term, you're seeing a school that is really producing individuals that are ready for life, regardless of their background, regardless of their intelligence status, according to someone. They're just allowing them to become the best they can be. So that is the outcome that we're seeing. But the best thing is that everyone is having a lot of fun along the way, which is of course very important. It's not uncommon that people think that a leadership is only for leaders. I have a favorite quote around that. You can meet a manager, and when you meet a manager, he's a very important person. You really get the sensation that this is someone who's above others, who thinks he's above others and controlling all of that. When you meet a true leader, you get the feeling that you are important. And you can be in a leadership position, managing position, but be no leader. But you can also be in no position at all, but you're still showing leadership, and you're a leader in a way. How we distinguish this in the process is that everyone can be a leader in their own life. Leadership is not a position, it's actually a choice of how you communicate. And how the definition of leadership in everything that we're doing is communicating people's worth and potential so clearly that they're inspired to see it in themselves. A great leader, he finds the best in the people he's working with, and he helps them see that. Because the best people will perform the best job and will contribute the best work to the team. And some mistaken that for authority, that you are in control. So we want rather to look at release. Release people, allow them with the right guidance to be the best they can be. So that's the definition in this. And it's like with the leader in me, the person, the name indicates. It's not like we are developing CEOs to go out, but if they find the leader in themselves, in which area they have talents, they have strengths, they have ability to make a meaningful contribution in their lives, to be a productive person in a job, to be the greatest teacher you can be, or the greatest whatever job it is, a teacher, if it's in business, if it's an employee, if it's a leader, it doesn't matter. So, but the world is sometimes stuck in an old paradigm of that the only one is a leader is the one that has someone behind them. But I also know from that there's many leaders who are standing in the top in the leadership position, but when they look back, there's nobody following them. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People were written, collected together by Dr. Stephen Covey, and was published in 1989. And is still on the top 10 as most influential books in the world in terms of personal development. He set up things that sound common, and everyone knows that you do, but they don't necessarily do them. So he set it up in a simple model that allows every individual to grow from where they are. And it's about the development from dependence attitude, where you are the victim, you're blaming everyone else for your failures or things like that when things go wrong, up to building up the confidence of having the confidence in yourself and understanding of responsibility for your own life, and ultimately to get up to interdependence, where you not only have the ability to lead yourself, you also know how to collaborate effectively with others. The first 3 habits are about building the root system in you as a tree, as a character, so you have strong roots. Being proactive is about understanding that you cannot choose everything that happens to you, but you can always choose how to respond to any circumstances, to any situation. And in your response, there lies your growth and potential. To learn to focus on things that you can actually influence, and maybe spend less time and energy on things that you cannot control. And understand that you are a role model wherever you are. Number 2 is to beginning with the end in mind, is to knowing the value of setting a clear vision and direction, both in life, what you want out of your life, what is important to you, and create a personal mission statement, but also in terms of the foundation for an effective goal setting. What is a realistic goal, and how is that moving you towards your own mission and values? It provides you also with purpose and values, how to prioritize in time management, which is habit 3, putting first things first. There we go kind of through that. How do you identify what are the most important things in your life you do? And you need to define them by yourself. The outer environment is not the one that should be telling you what's most important to you. And many people are ending up running around trying to fit and fill up everyone's task list instead of maybe prioritizing what is the most important thing in your life and focus first on that. So it's a planning system. From there you have come up to independence, you understand your responsibility, you have your vision and the integrity to actually follow through. Habit 4 is to think win-win, is to understand that the abundant malady will get you much, much further than thinking that you have to step on someone's toes or you have to be better than someone else. There is enough recognition, there is enough success in the world that should allow us to open up our mind for that. You need to balance that courage and consideration. That courage to stand for what we self-believe in and who we are, and the considerations to the will to want to bring others along with us and understand what is the win for the other person. Bit 5 is the listening, empathic listening. Seek always first to understand before you get yourself understood. Because once you understand how another person sees the world or the situation, you're more likely also to get yourself understood, or even change your mind if you understand how the person sees it. Which leads us to synergy, which is habit 6, where you are collaboratively working together, you're valuing the differences, and you're creating an outcome that is much bigger than each and every one could have done separately. People think that compromise is synergy, but it's not. You're not utilizing the strengths of everyone. It's maybe 1 or 2 who are shining. So it's when you get everyone together. Then you come up to what interdependence, which is from going from the attitude of you to the attitude of I can to the attitude of we. We are in this together and we can create success together. Habit 7 surrounds all the other habits, and is about balancing you as an individual and making sure that you can continuously develop you to become the best you can be every single day and live your life to the fullest. You will burn out if you don't take care of yourself. If your mind to learn new things, open to that. Your heart, your relationship around you, your spirit, and your physical activity. So you take care of yourself physically as well. There's nothing there that you haven't heard before, but this is put together in a framework that makes sense and can so easily be built into school cultures, even though the cultures are different than before. Because it's not about making everyone the same, it's about making you the best you can be and not compare you to anyone else.